There are many teams in the league who are having the youth movement right now, and rightfully so. There are many intriguing prospects and players in the draft now, and the players coming into the league right now are more talented than they've ever been. And the chances on hitting on a possible generational guy and a franchise altering superstar are higher than they've ever been. So, in today's video, I'll be talking about two teams which I think are going to be tanking this season, and which player who are already on the roster you should be excited about. Leave a like on
What? Can you teach me how to duck it? You know why? It's all the bitches love it. All I need is a beat that's super bumpin' and you to back it up and dump it.
There's one team I want to address who also falls in this category, the San Antonio Spurs. So the Spurs front office, after the moves they made this offseason by giving away DeMar DeRozan, have made it clear that they want to go into a full-on rebuild. But the problem is, they've arguably the best coach of all time as their coach. And Popovich is so great as a coach, he's going to win you some games. And I doubt the Spurs want to win any games. Their team is comprised of many guys who are going to be great third or fourth options on other good teams, but none of them are really franchise guys or even franchise cornerstones. There's one player who I'm really excited to watch on this team, in my opinion, and the only player who has the potential to be a franchise cornerstone on this team is Keldon Johnson. I'll be dropping a video on Keldon Johnson in the Spurs later, but now with that out of the way, let's get into what this video is actually about. So the first team I want to talk about are the Orlando Magic. For both the teams I'm going to be talking about today and the two teams which I'm going to be talking about in part 2, there's a common trend. The players I expect people to be most excited about on these teams are either rookies or guys who I expect will have a breakout season this year. So the rookie who Magic fans should be excited about to watch is obviously their 5th overall pick, Jalen Suggs. Suggs is one of the more NBA ready rookies who is at the same time has a lot of upside. Though the Magic are very guard heavy and already have 3 to 4 good guards, I believe Suggs is already better than all of them and is going to take the starting spot as soon as he can. He was the leader of a college team which almost went undefeated, and that's saying a lot. He has that it factor in him which very few point guards in the league still have right now. He's a fiery leader who does both the small things and the big things for the team. He's a hustle guy who fights for every single play. His defensive upside is ridiculously high, and I believe he can be one of the best guard defenders in the league at his peak. He's a 6'4" point guard with a 6'6" wingspan. He plays bigger than his size, and his great athleticism and lateral quickness, while at the same time being very attentive off ball and in passing lanes, give him a very high defensive ceiling. And the same athleticism which makes him so exciting on defense gives him offensive upside too. He's a ridiculous leaper, and his already existing unselfishness and playmaking ability make him a very dangerous transition player and one of the best transition players in college. He's also a very smart person with a very high basketball IQ, not just for someone at his age, but for an NBA player period. He's also really good at going downhill and penetrating the defense. Him being a very good passer goes very well alongside his rim pressure. He can find open spot-up shooters very well. He's a great pick and roll player already, and with the Magic having two young bigs who they're also trying to develop, putting them alongside a guard like Jalen Suggs is perfect. I hope the Magic give him enough playing time for him to flourish, and with his all-star ceiling, I believe this is the player Magic fans should be most excited to watch because he can possibly be a future cornerstone of this team. Moving on, the two players who I could possibly see having breakout seasons on this team are Jonathan Isaac and Markelle Fultz. I wanted to go with either Wendell Carter Jr. or Mo Bamba because both Markelle and Isaac are coming off injury. But I feel that both Mamba and Wendell are very unlikely to have a breakout season with both of them possibly fighting for their spot against each other. They might have better seasons than they've had previously, but a breakout season is very unlikely in my opinion. But the problem with the two players I've picked for the breakout season is that they're coming off injuries. But nonetheless, Markelle Fultz was getting better consistently this season in the games he played, and he was getting better the entire last season too. He's a crafty finisher who drives a lot to the rim. He's not close to a great shooter yet, but he's had some games where he showcased some shot making ability. If he can get a consistent shot, he can be an amazing point guard in the league, and that itself might be his breakout season. He will probably be the starting point guard alongside Suggs, and he was a starting point guard on a playoff team not so long ago, for whatever that's worth. So I do expect him to have a breakout season to a certain extent if he doesn't get injured again. Next up, Jonathan Isaac. Isaac, with a combination of his height, length, speed, and agility, can guard all five positions. He's already a Defensive Player of the Year candidate if healthy and one of the most disruptive defenders in the league. He can be an anchor for an elite defense, and we saw massive flashes of how good he was the year he was surrounded by mediocre defensive players like Fournier and Vucevic. For his breakout to happen though, we need to see more offensive production from him. Last time Isaac played for the Magic, it was with guys like Vucevic and Fournier and Aaron Gordon, who were carrying majority of the offensive load, while Isaac was limited to a spot-up shooter. With much more opportunity for Isaac on the offensive end this time around, I expect him to take some jump offensively and become a better offensive player and a better two-way player and a possible star one day soon. The other team I want to talk about is the Detroit Pistons. The Pistons got the first overall pick in the 2021 draft and picked Cade Cunningham. I expect them to be somewhat competitive but still mainly tank so that they can get a solid second star to grow alongside Cade for the upcoming future. I don't think there's any player who's necessarily going to have like a breakout season this year, but the two players I'm most excited to watch in the Pistons is their backcourt, Killian Hayes and Cade Cunningham. Cade needs no introduction. He was almost the consensus number one pick and is one of the most highly touted prospects in recent history. He's a 6'8" point guard with an already decently furnished all-around game. He's the best playmaker out of this class and will be one of the premier playmakers in the league for years to come. He's also a great pick and roll playmaker, already showcasing the ability a lot in college. He's another high IQ player who has that it factor in him too, which people always talk about. He was amazing in the clutch at Oklahoma and showcased his leadership ability. He's already a great three-point shooter and has a lot of off-the-dribble potential in that end. He can make all kinds of passes off the pick and roll and is overall just an exceptional ball handler. He might be one of the best rookies we've seen in a long time, and he's without a doubt Detroit's franchise player and best player already. He's going to make everyone around him better, and that's the reason I'm so excited to watch him and his backcourt partner, Killian Hayes, who should also benefit a lot with Cade alongside him. Hayes had a very up and down rookie season. Before his injury, he was very disappointing, and all the questions people had about Hayes coming out of France turned out to be true. But we also saw all the positives which were advertised too in like a very small scale. His passing ability was showcased as he averaged 6 assists per game since coming back from injury. The problem with that is that he has little to no scoring gravity right now. He shot only 39% from 3 post-injury and only 31% from the field post-injury. This was an improvement from his pre-injury self, but still not enough for opposing teams to take his offense seriously and give him pressure him up and give him gravity which will allow him to make more plays. The good thing is, he can be an off-ball player and an off-ball playmaker this year and improve as a spot-up shooter and just as a shooter in general. He can make some extra short passes, make better cuts and improve as a finisher at the rim and be a great complement alongside Cade. If he does improve as a shooter off the ball, his on-ball game should come along with it too and allow Cade to progress his off-ball game. What gives me confidence in Killian Hayes' shooting is that he was a great free throw shooter. And being a great free throw shooter is usually a sign that you have somewhat of a shooting potential. I obviously don't expect Hayes to have a breakout into a star season next year, but I think Piston fans should be excited to see how he pans out alongside Cade and be excited to see how that backcourt pans out and whether they can be the backcourt for this team in the future. And with that, we have come to the end of the video. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel.